there, and welcome back to Scrap with Penny, where paper meets story. So today's video is a special little video because it's going to wrap up my time as the July guest designer for the ScrapRoom Kit Club. It has been such an honor to play along this month, and I want to start off by sending a big thank you to Rochelle and the whole ScrapRoom team for inviting me to join in on the fun. So in this video, I thought I would do a quick recap of the 5 layouts that I have created so far using the July flavor of the month kit and the embellishment add-on. And I think I'm going to just try and walk you quickly through how each page came together and what I loved about working with each mini kit. I'm also going to show you what I have left in the way of papers, embellishments, and little bits and bobs. If you've been following along, you might have an idea that I love to stretch a kit as far as it can go. So who knows? I may try to squeeze out a bonus layout or two from what's left. So let's take one last look at the July kit and the stories that it helped me tell. Y'all, I love seeing this spread out. And you know, when I opened the kit, I wasn't really sure. I didn't even know what was in the box, so I'm pulling it all out, and immediately your mind starts perking along and ginning up some ideas. So Simple Stories Happy Travel, Paige Evans Happy Haven, Vicki Booten Cut and Paste, and Echo Park Firefly. This was where I started. Simple Stories, they just always have my heart. And I cut apart the postage stamp paper, leaned heavy into the sunburst. I got 11 photos on this page. I did a simpler companion page over here. I talked you through how to make the tags from scraps of paper and journaling on vellum. And this is a great format for me to document a trip. A nice pretty focal page, and then a companion page. I'll get it out, a companion page. Okay, so that was a lot of fun, and I just had so much left of that I didn't want to work it back into my stash. I thought I can get one more layout out of this, and I'll just kill this kit. And pretty much I did. So this was one piece of cardstock that I gutted and trimmed to 3 sizes. I did pull in a piece of white cardstock for my stash here and here, but that's just stretching the kit. And this was a fun little way to document a road trip with our Nashville kids, and I just thought it turned out really cute. The car, I just love the little car. Simple little grid design. Then up next, we went to Paige Evans Happy Haven, and I brought in, well, let me just back up and say, this cut file was part of the kit, and the July kit, and I had fun using that. And the day that I finished this project up, I got an email from Paige Evans, and she had this cut file in the email. And so I thought, well, I'm going to use that. It was a free cut file, and this was a fun paper line to use to document how my friend left the Dallas area after living here 30 years to follow her heart and live in horse country. And we got to stop by and see her in her new house, and that was fun. And I thought this line with all the flowers and the little greenhouse was perfect to document how she's thriving in her new environment. Then we hopped over to Vicki Booten's Cut and Paste, and I leaned into the sketch this month that's included in the kit. And the sketch is more like this, and I rotated it. And when you see a sketch, you can always rotate it. And I layered up lots of things to talk about the layering in my life and where I am right now in this chapter. And I thought this was a playful and meaningful tribute to me getting to spend time with my mom each day, getting time to craft each day, and then of course you know, taking care of my fur babies. And then the final, this is the order that I did the kits in. So this isn't, you know, any reflection on anything except just how I chose to work. And I used the Echo Park Firefly to go back in time and tell a cross-generational story. And I like to do that. And so when I did this process video, I shared how sometimes pictures drive our project, sometimes paper drives our project, and this time this little cardstock sticker is what drove me to tell this story. So and this one has the hidden journaling back here. So there's journaling on this. It's just, I had a long story and I share the journaling in the process video. Okay, so that is how we finished out our 5 kits. And I'm very happy with everything, and what I want to show you next is what I have left of all the kits. So let me grab that stuff. So on the Echo Park Firefly, we started out with 2 sheets of the black cardstock, this floral, this plaid, and you can see, you know, what I have left. So the basic kit had the sticker sheet in it, and then the embellishment add-on kit had the enamel dots. And this is what I have left of that. So fully transparent, I see this parlaying very easily into the Freaky Fast Friday Formula Challenge. And maybe you'll see me cut some paper in a minute. This was a great little kit. I really liked working with that. Then the next kit that I have to show, these are not in any logical order. I'm really not even going to bother to take this out of the bag. There's just a few die cuts left. No paper. I've just got offcuts on the paper. Just a few of these little postage stamp sheets. Some of the sticker sheet. I'll pull that out. Some of the sticker sheet. And to be honest, I'm going to work this into my Simple Stories Pack Your Bags kit, and I'll use it in there with that because it's got some of the same colors. The next kit that I have left, let's do Vicki Boutin next. This cardstock sticker sheet was part of the add-on embellishment kit. So I think in my video, my process video, I said it was the die cuts were the add-on, but it was the cardstock sticker sheet. Okay, so here in this Vicki Boutin, I've got a bunch of the little die cuts left. You may remember I cut apart the flowers and did a lot of fussy cutting, and there's some branding strips that are fun that I've got left, and so that is the Vicki Boutin. The Fig Swirl cardstock was part of this kit, and I've got 1 sheet of that left. I used it with the Echo Park when I was making that layout. Then here's the Paige Evans. I've got these papers left. This is probably the most paper I have left of any kit, but if you'll remember, my layout was those thinner vertical bands. And this is the cardstock sticker sheet. So the embellishment kit for the add-ons was the enamel dots here, the sticker sheet here, the sticker sheet here, and the sticker sheet here. So, and then we had 2 pieces of white cardstock in this kit. I used one for the cut file, and I've got 1 still left. So this is what I have left, and these are part of the Fig Swirl. So there's still some good stuff here. So what I'm thinking is that I can combine these. I'm going to purpose this into my stash, and then I'm going to do Freaky Fast Friday Formula here. So shall we just go straight into some bonus content? I think so. So the Freaky Fast Friday Formula Challenge calls for a 6x12 piece of paper, and this is really the only one I think I had that I could get a 6x12 out of. So we've got that. Then the next big cut is a 6x7 and a 5x7. So I'm going to use this piece of paper for that. So I'm going to cut this 7 inches. Then I'm going to cut this at 6, and that's going to give me my 6x7 piece. And then I'm going to come to this, and I'm going to cut a 5x7. And then I've got the B side. Then my next cut is a 3x6. I've got just enough, I think, of this. And then the last little piece is a 2.5 by 4.5. And we're going to come into this. And so here are the cuts: the 6x12, the 6x7, the 5x7, the 2.5 by 4.5, and the 3x6. And what I did was I went out to Page Maps, April 2021, and I'll drop that sketch up in the frame so you can see it. And it shows doing something like this. It shows a banner piece. I can cut this in half and fishtail it and piece it, and then this would go right under here. So to get the fishtail, I just use my centering ruler to mark, because this is 3 inches wide and it won't fit into any of my punches. So I'm just going to freehand cut. And then if you wanted, you could take that piece of paper and trace the other side, but there's my fishtail. Now, because of this banner here, I can cut this piece of paper and bring it down some, and I'm probably going to do that. And then this will tuck in under for some journaling. So let me do a little more cutting. I think I'm also going to round the corners here, here, and probably here and here, and then probably, I guess, here and here. I use this old Martha Stewart corner punch. I just love the big chunky feel to it. Let me go cut an inch off of this. I did get my floral trim down. I ended up just taking off 3/4 of an inch instead of a whole inch. And I grabbed my little corner rounder for this little coral sheet of paper. And if I'm completely honest with you, I'm not liking this. So I'm going to trim it down, and I'm going to use a smaller corner round. Oh yeah, that's softer. That's better. The next thing I need to do is kind of mark where I want to trim this some. So I'm going to slide this over, and I'm going to cut it right. I want to mark it right there to cut it. It's so hard to see the pencil, but it is there. So that ended up basically just cutting it in half. If you wanted to emulate this, you could cut 3 inches from the bottom. So that's our layout, and it would call for 3 photos right here. So here's what I have taped down so far. The next thing I'm going to put on is my banner, because I want to know where to put my bottom strip of paper, and I want my top floral a little thicker than my bottom. So I'm scooting this down as far as it'll go. Okay, so I've got all this taped down. I need to trim this back side off. And then I think this is going to go right here with the journaling on it. So let me go get some photo mats. So I cut some photo mats. I cut a 4x6 and a 4x4. This sketch calls for 2 3x4s, and I thought if you had, you know, 2 wallets, then you would cut this in half and then just space them out. And then you could tuck your journaling up under the photo, like so if you wanted. You could even come up as far as you wanted on it. So that's your variable. So what do you think? Quick and easy page. So there's lots of title options left with these stickers, and I'm going to set this layout to the side and put it in a stack of what I call base pages, where you can come back later and finish it. So I just wanted to give you a visual for how you could cut the papers that were left and get another layout out of it. The sketch called for this piece of paper to be in this column, so I moved it from here to over here. So next up we have the leftovers from Paige Evans and Vicki Boutin, and this is the other piece of white cardstock that was from the Paige Evans kit, and it's My Colors by Photo Play, and it's just basic white. So on these papers, honestly, if you're wanting to combine these, in my opinion, you're going to have to decide what style of flowers you want, because I don't think they meld. We've got this, and then I thought this stripe worked really nicely with this. And then I was looking at this flower just to bring in just one little row of flowers. That's kind of what I'm thinking, is to do a band, a big band, and it can either go vertical or horizontal. So let me cut this and this, and this is going to go down as is. I cut the stripe at 1 1/4, so it could look like this, or it could look like this. I'm leaning toward horizontal. I have everything glued down, and I came up 1 1/4 inch, and then I overlaid this little strip onto the blue floral because I wanted to see all of that pretty happy stripe. So here's what a 4x6 photo would look like on it, and you could journal and title over here. You could do a 4x6 and a 4x4 like the last one. If you were vertical, let's say you have some wallets. Could look something like that with 2 3x4s and a 4x4. Or let's say you have 3 photos, and it could look something like that, or like that. So I thought it would be fun just to show you some simple or quick layouts using the remnants of, and this will be something else that I put in with my base pages, so you can have a quick page when you've got the pictures that come up that are just, you know, perfect for this. So let's recap everything. We've got this bonus layout using a combination of Paige Evans, Happy Haven, and Vicki Boutin cut and paste. Then we have a bonus layout using our Echo Park Firefly. Then we have our page start to finish we made with our kit. Here's our Vicki Boutin cut and paste. Here's our Paige Evans Happy Haven. Here is the second Simple Stories Happy Travels layout, and here is the first. So look at all of this that you can make out of the July Flavors of the Month kit, and I just have had so much fun exploring all of these kits. Just real quick, here's the paper I have left. I've got 1 sheet of that black cardstock. I have the most of this. Got the floral on the back, so not very much paper left at all. That is going to officially wrap up my July guest designer adventure with the ScrapRoom Kit Club. It's been a lot of fun working with the Flavor of the Month kit and the embellishment add-on, and I'm thrilled that I got 5 completed layouts, and the 2 bonus base pages out of the kit. And it's always nice to have those base pages ready for stories. A big heartfelt thank you again to Rochelle and the ScrapRoom team for inviting me to be part of this month's lineup. It's been a big honor and just a lot of fun to contribute and stretch these kits in ways that felt true to my style and storytelling. So if you've enjoyed following along this month, I'd love for you to subscribe so we can keep scrapping together. And remember, I'm over on Instagram at Scrap with Penny. I hope during this July series that you found a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of joy, and a reminder that your stories matter. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. I'll be back soon with more layouts, videos, and a little stash busted magic. So please come back and crop with me. Until next time, happy scrapping, and remember, this is where paper meets story. Bye-bye.